Blazers. If they can win here, something they haven't been able to do so far in the series, they can wrap it up and then sit back and wait for the opening of the NBA Finals on Wednesday. But they've got to get by the Utah Jazz first, and they have 2 games to do it. The first chance comes tonight here. One of the things that the Jazz are talking about is in Portland's incredible shooting once they were able to stop Portland inside. In other words, forcing the Blazer guards to kick the ball out, and then Kevin Duckworth and Jerome Kersey were hitting those jumpers. So now they're going to be encouraging the Blazer players to brick tonight. That's because they saw how effective it was, the outside shooting in Game 6 actually Game 5 the other night. When we come back in the sports segment, we'll talk about that, hear what the Jazz have to say about it, especially Mark Eaton, who felt he was doing a good job on Duckworth until Kevin started hitting those outside shots, which really spelled doom for Utah, especially in the fourth quarter and in overtime. That's it for now. We'll see you in about a half an hour.
What do you think? The Blazers are going to do it tonight?
I think they will.
Yeah.
They want to end it now.
You bet. They're tired of Utah. Thanks, Lou.
Off comes the mustache. I'll show.
Okay, so how about it?
Yeah.
This time around?
Tonight?
Oh, yeah, I'm confident, folks. I'm confident.
Wait. How confident?
If the Blazers lose this series to Utah, I'll shave the mustache.
All right.
And the head.
I'm shaving the head. No, I'll look like Mel Blount for the Pittsburgh Steelers. No, off goes the mustache if the Blazers lose this series. They got it made. I think they'll win tonight. Hello, everybody. Nice seeing you again. Game 5 between the Blazers and Jazz is just about 45 minutes away, and my partner, running Ann Schatz, is now flying Ann Schatz with all those frequent flyer miles. What's going on down there in Utah, Ann?
Plenty, but I first got to ask you this, Ed. Did you have something to do with bringing that stuff back about the Sigourney Weaver hairdo? you dog.
Okay, you look good that way.
I'll ask Danny Ainge if he thinks I'd look good like Sigourney Weaver. Joining me live is, of course, one of the best reserves in the business. Coming off the bench for the Portland Trail Blazers, Danny Ainge. I said last game, if you guys lost to Utah in Game 5, I'd do a Sigourney Weaver deal. So actually, without you guys knowing it, you saved me.
Well, I think you would look great in one of those.
Thank you, Dan.
Plus, you'd have to join my hat club, so.
Oh, hey, see, that's not bad, right?
That's a great idea.
Hey, how are the guys doing today? I know it's a different deal coming in for Game 6, but you're in such great shape right now, only needing 1 win to get back to the finals.
I think the attitude's great. I think that everybody is very upbeat. I think we're confident that we can win here. I think at the same time, we know we have to play a great game. And games like we did in Games 1 and Game 2, and play like we're playing at home and just do the same things we've been doing there.
What's the key, Danny? Is it defense? Is it rebounding that goes along with defense? Is it getting a big lead at first? What is it?
I think it's the whole thing. You know, I think defense has lost us a game, and offense has lost us a game. So I think it's important to execute, and I think it's all in the attitude. It's all in intensity, confidence, aggression, and you know, we take care of the ball, keep them from getting easy baskets with our offense, and play good defense, and just make them shoot outside, then we'll be in good shape. But that's easier said than done.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? You've had a couple of games to kind of get used to the place, if you will, so now you come back for Game 6. Is there maybe a different mood coming into Game 6 than there was coming here for Games 3 and 4?
I think so, yeah. I think that we feel more confident. We've had 2 close games here, games that we had an opportunity to win, and like you say, I think sometimes, you know, you have a doubt whether you can win on the road, but there certainly should be no doubts, and if you can't be ready to play tonight, you don't belong in the game.
It'll be fun, Danny. Thanks so much for joining us, and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
That will be one game I think these guys will want to remember. Remember now, Ed, if the Blazers win tonight, not only do they go on to the finals, but you're off the hook. You get to keep the mustache.
Okay, I'll listen, Running. I'm going to talk to you in just a little bit, okay? Okay, now there's more on the way, folks, in a few moments, but
series as soon as possible.
That's what they want to do, is get this thing over once and for all and move on to the finals. Easier said than done, especially in this building. Joe, I think we can count on ourselves watching a very, very good basketball game tonight.
Thank you very much, Eric. It's good to hear from you, and we're looking for a victory. Meanwhile, the Chicago Bulls are now just 1 game away from reaching the NBA Finals again. The Bulls lead the Cleveland Cavaliers 3-2 with Game 6 scheduled tomorrow night in Cleveland. You can see it right here on Channel 8 starting at 6 p.m. Last night, the Bulls took on the Cavs in Chicago. As usual, Michael Jordan was the star of the game. First half, Jordan down the middle with a spectacular shot. He had 20 points in the first half. The game was close until the fourth quarter, and that's when Chicago pulled away. Jordan with another terrific play. He had 37. Late in the fourth quarter, with the game out of reach, the Bulls, Stacey King hammered the Cavs' Danny Ferry. Ferry's the player who hit Michael Jordan on Monday. King then started arguing with Steve Kerr. The Bulls won this game big. The final was 112-89. Today, King was fined $5,000 by the NBA. Well, U.S. Olympic basketball coach Chuck Daly was named the head coach of the New Jersey Nets today. Daly, who resigned as coach of the Pistons 3 weeks ago, will replace Bill Fitch as New Jersey's coach. The Nets were 40-42 this season. They made the playoffs, but Fitch had trouble handling starters Derek Coleman and Chris Morris. Daly's excited about the challenge in New Jersey.
Basically, it revolves around one word, that's passion. Passion for basketball. I still love it.
And one game in the big leagues this afternoon, Mike Morgan threw a 4-hit shutout. The Cubs beat the Giants by a score of 5-0. Morgan is now 5-2 on the season. Well, most people know Mark Rypien is the quarterback of the Super Bowl champion Washington Redskins. However, this week Rypien is trying to make a name for himself on the golf course. Rypien is playing in the Kemper Open in Maryland on the PGA Tour. This is his first tee shot of the afternoon, and he hits a tree on the right side of the fairway, and the ball comes straight down. Rypien got off to a rough start, as you can see. He was in as a sponsor's exemption. He's an amateur player, but he's pretty good, although you couldn't tell it by that shot or the one before that. He had a rough afternoon, and he finished with an 80, and obviously he's not ready to trade his helmet for a putter just yet. Here's another shot, but I guess we're going to miss that one. Anyway, that's about it for sports. We got the Blazers coming up in just a few more minutes, and we're pretty excited about it.
John Madden didn't do badly going out onto the Pro Tour with the seniors, did he?
I didn't know John Madden was
John
playing.
Madden?
You're thinking of John Brody.
Brody,
yeah, right.
In fact, John Brody actually won a tournament on the Seniors Tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hey, maybe this guy keeps
And he was a quarterback?
He was a quarterback of the 49ers.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
thanks,
you never know.
Joe. Well, should the Blazers face the Bulls in the NBA Finals, and we all know they will, one Portland man is going to find himself in a rather unusual situation. But don't worry, his basketball alliances are firmly rooted in Portland. Trouble is, his name is definitely Chicago. News 8's Larry Shoup has the story.
Students and staff spent the afternoon cleaning up at Sabin Elementary School, and they got some help from Michael Jordan.
Good job there so far.
This is Michael Jordan, the principal at Sabin. He's had the name longer than that guy in Chicago, but now the moniker definitely has new meaning. Heads turn at restaurants when his table is ready. People often look at him skeptically when he introduces himself.
Sometimes they think it's a prank. Very much so. They'll say, I'm Michael Jordan. Yeah, and I'm Bill Lambier, too. Nice to meet you.
Did you pick up all the trash? Huh?
This Michael Jordan may not be quite as well known outside this neighborhood, but he has a following. Kids and staff at Sabin say they wouldn't think of trading him for that basketball player.
He's a great principal, and his children truly adore him, staff love him, and he's a very good person to work for.
South Playground.
But still, his name is Michael Jordan. And in Portland, you might think that would cause some conflict.
Now, your principal's named Michael Jordan, so does that mean you'll be rooting for the Bulls in the playoffs?
No!
Who are you going to root for?
Blazers!
Principal Michael Jordan is a Blazers fan, but the name doesn't bother him at all. He thinks the basketball player's a good person and a good role model. It could be worse.
Yeah, at least your name's not Charles Barkley.
No, Lord, no. Jesus. Right, I may look a little more like Charles Barkley, but at least my name's not Charles Barkley.
It's Michael Jordan, and as the principal likes to say, the original one. In Northeast Portland, Larry Shoup, News 8.
That's great.
So is the forecast.
Good.
Yeah. 5-day forecast for you right now, and you can see tomorrow some morning drizzle, partial clearing by afternoon, 72 degrees. Morning clouds, afternoon sunshine on Saturday, 77. 84 with sunny skies on Sunday. Pretty hot on Monday, 85 degrees with a few high clouds. Morning clouds and afternoon sunshine on Tuesday, and cooler high, 72 degrees.
Thanks, Joe.
Okay, Joe. Well, we're just a few minutes now away from the big Blazers-Jazz playoff game, and we want you to enjoy the game, but be sure to stay with us in Channel 8 for a special edition of News 8 right after the game. We'll have live reports from Salt Lake City with game highlights, post-game interviews, and reaction from right here in Portland, where some local businessmen have a lot riding on tonight's outcome. We'll explain that. All that and much more tonight on a special edition of News 8, immediately following tonight's big game between the Blazers and the Jazz.
You bet, fans, let's put it together and say, yes, yes, they're going to win. Of course they will. We'll see you tonight.
Good night.
On the next Good Evening, is there another Clyde out there? With draft day on the way, we'll see how Portland picks its future players tonight after the Blazer playoff game on Channel 8.
They invade by the thousands, leaving an invisible chemical trail. But ants can be stopped by the exterminator, the Orkin Man. The exterminator wipes out ant armies with the awesome power of his advanced pest control technology. He destroys ants and their colony and makes sure they never return. Guaranteed. The exterminator, the Orkin Man. One call destroys them all.
This is a mobile home?
Honey, manufactured home.
Great house.
Happy housewarming. Glad I have room for all these people.
This bedroom is huge.
Hey, big bathroom.
Uh-oh, move over.
Yow, I'm hungry. Plenty to eat in all these cupboards. We'll be back.
I just love it.
For more information on today's manufactured homes, call 1-800-35-OWNER.
I can't believe it's a manufactured home.
As if drinking Pepsi wasn't rewarding enough, now they have a Gotta Have It card.
You ever had a Pepsi, Cindy?
It gets you great deals on everything from Reebok shoes to Norwegian Cruise Line.
More food, Cindy?
But what really impressed me about this card was the incredible attention and courtesy people show you.
A towel, Cindy?
Hey, Cindy! Would you like to steer the ship again?
We got to get one of those cards.
You gotta call 1-800-999-PEPSI for information on how to get the exciting new Gotta Have It card from Pepsi.
Saturday, for the first time ever, an incredible 12-store super clearance sale at Smith's Home Furnishing.
With Smith's new Tacoma store opening soon, we're making room for truckloads of new merchandise.
Like slashing prices on furniture, appliances, mattresses, computers, audio, oriental rugs, and electronics.
And by offering 1-year deferred financing.
That's no down payment, monthly payments, or interest until June 1993.
During the first ever 12-store super clearance sale.
Saturday at Smith's.
Coming to a volume dealer is beneficial to the customer because when a dealer is focused on volume, the customer is most likely to get a lower price for the car. I think you'll find that normally our prices are the most competitive, the most consistently low in the market. And that's why we sell so many cars. It really works.
Help for people with disfigured faces. Next Sally.
Programs regularly scheduled will not be seen at this time, so that we may bring you exclusive coverage of the NBA Conference Finals.
The NBA Jazz Band from Utah. They played some serious music Tuesday night in Portland. End of the first half, the NBA's top point guard, John Stockton, accidentally poked in the eye by Clyde Drexler. Stockton, the Jazz percussionist, unable to return. So undermanned, trailing, and on the road, Utah coach Jerry Sloan challenged his team to dig deeper. Their response, dramatic. Karl Malone mailed in 38. Reserves, Tyrone Corbin, a career playoff high, 28. And veteran Jeff Malone for 23. And in the final seconds of regulation, Stockton's replacement, Delaney Rudd, for a three-pointer. Oh, my! Right down the middle. 107. Rudd's three-pointer stunned, favored Portland, who then, in overtime, produced a champion's response. Led by the Blazers All-Star Clyde Drexler, Portland shot a perfect 7 for 7 in overtime. And now, emphatically, our one win from the NBA Finals.
This is the NBA on NBC. The 1992 NBA playoffs. Solid, the Prudential.
Halftime at the Delta Center, and the Utah Jazz hope they're 24 minutes away from forcing a Game 7, but a 21-8 lead has dwindled down to 59-55, and that is the correct score, 59-55 at the half. Bob Costas in our NBA Showtime studio in New York, and we're joined in a moment by Quinn Buckner. The lone remaining NBA team without a coach filled that vacancy earlier today when the New Jersey Nets named Chuck Daly the successor to Bill Fitch. Nets Vice President Willis Reed knows the Nets got one of the NBA's very best.
I think he's a great coach. I think he teaches good defense. His players are mentally tough. They can play on adverse circumstances, and I think his players like playing for him. And I think he has proven that at Detroit, and by the fact that he had winning seasons in the playoffs for all 9 years there. So I think we got the best coach that was available, and as I said, we won the coaching lottery.
They won the coaching lottery. Here is the Shaquille O'Neal of coaches, Chuck Daly. Now, you've won a couple of titles with the Pistons and all the Eastern Conference Finals, all the successes. Likely to have a gold medal this summer when you come back from Barcelona. After being in this for so long, why take this on with this group of ruffians at this point?
Well, frankly, I didn't have a lot of time to think about it, but I made a decision that I want to remain in basketball. I like the hands-on. I like the action. I didn't want to be removed from it at this point, and it was kind of a quick decision, really.
What happens if a Chris Morris or a Derek Coleman says, not tonight?
I want to talk to you about baseball, didn't I?
No, that evasive tactic won't work this time.
No, Quinn will understand. We're going to start them both and never take them out of the game, so I'll never have a problem.
So as long as they play 48 minutes.
48, that's it. No problem. No, I don't know. I understood and I saw what happened. I think Quinn and sitting here will say that not many benches are very happy in the NBA. Every guy wants 48 shots in 48 minutes. You have those episodes, and that's part of dealing with the situation. I don't know either one of these kids, and I'm looking forward to getting to know them.
Chuck, you know, you've had some difficult personalities in Detroit. I think everybody knows that. How much do you think that's going to help you deal with these kids? I know you don't know them, but you have a sense of what they may be like anyway.
Yeah, I think everybody's different. I think you meet people, you make decisions about people. I don't think you do that before you meet them. And I'm looking forward to working with them. I think there's some talented people. And when you have talented people, you know, you're willing to put up with a few things. I like talent. You know, people can do things.
In Detroit, Jack McCloskey got the players, and you coached them. That might have been the source of some friction. What's the relationship with Willis Reed? How much input into personnel will you have?
Well, I noted Willis's comments there, and he read them exactly as I wrote them. Did a good job. But no, I have no interest in doing his job. I'm going to coach the team, but I think Willis is the kind of guy, and Brendan Sewer is going to come with me. We're going to sit down and talk about personnel, and we're going to work it out and try to keep improving the roster. And we want to win. Everybody in the situation wants to win, as they do in every franchise, and I feel the same way.
Quite a competition with Riley across town, not only in the standings, but with the duds, the two sharpest dressers in the NBA.
Yeah, I'm at a disadvantage. He's younger, thinner, taller. But if I can get his cast-off suits, I got a shot.
Congratulations, Chuck.
Thank you.
New coach of the New Jersey Nets. And up next, we'll turn our attention to the Eastern Conference Finals between the Bulls and the Cavaliers as we hear from one of the Bulls' unsung heroes, Horace Grant. That's after this message from Prudential and a word from the NBA. Tomorrow night in Cleveland, the Eastern Conference Finals between the Bulls and Cavs continues with Game 6 at the Richfield Coliseum. Chicago, of course, leads it 3-2. The spotlight for Chicago always shines brightest on Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. That's somewhat unfortunate for Bulls forward Horace Grant, because quietly, he's grown into one of the league's most consistent players. Peter Bessie has more on that from Chicago.
His job is to block shots, defend, fight for rebounds, battle bigger men night after night, while others grab the points and the glory. For a power forward, he's slight at 6'10" and 230 pounds. But it's a measure of the man that Horace Grant has learned his limitations.
He works hard. He gets his own offense. He provides for himself. He comes out every game and gives us everything he got.
I wanted to score when I first got here. I wanted to score, a couple years ago. But never got me anywhere, you know, wanting to score. So in order to be happy and be the complete player that I know I can be, I just had to go out and accept my role as a rebounding and a defensive player.
He doesn't back up from opponents, and he doesn't back down from superstars, even the one on his team. When Michael Jordan declined an invitation to the White House, Horace spoke out.
Well, I'm disappointed because, you know, Mike is our team leader. He's respected by millions and millions of fans and people, and I think he just showed disrespect first to the president and to his teammates that, you know, not showing up.
Some things are best left unsaid.
Know me as a person, you know, I don't worry about really what people say or really think about me, because I have to live with myself, and if I feel that I have to voice my opinion about something, especially about this team, I'm going to do it.
We won a championship last year, and, you know, I want to win another one. You know, if Michael want to isolate himself like that, we're not going to win.
Where I come from, Peter, it's like, you know, pride, not pride, I would just say being treated fairly is everything.
You come from very humble beginnings. I guess you're talking about growing up poor, so the only thing you have is your pride. Mm-hmm. Is that why it's so important to be treated fairly?
It is. I think we put the P in poor. From a very small town, something like Mayberry, on the Andy Griffith Show. You know, it's just like everybody, you know, really sticks together, and you know, when you don't have anything else, you know, that pride definitely comes into play.
He has been a rebounding demon, especially in this series against the Cavaliers, but his scoring, like Pippen's, off from the regular season, and Jordan continues to score in the playoffs about 35% of their points, and that's higher, great as Michael is, higher than Phil Jackson would like.
Well, that's definitely higher, but when you think about Horace Grant, the thing that I like about him, when we go through these times where we're worried about what's going on in the inner city, and rightfully so, Horace Grant is a kid that has gone back to the inner city, back in Sparta. He's done some things in Chicago. He has rebounds for research, where he donates money for research for, you know, some disease. And this is the kind of person he is. And to speak his mind is not unusual. Everyone you talk to says this is the way Horace has always been, a very committed person.
Twin brother Harvey Grant, of course, with the Washington Bullets, averaged exactly 18 points a game this year for Wes Unseld. Before we get out of here on the halftime segment, a quick medical update on the Cavaliers' two best players. Did not require x-rays and should start tomorrow in Game 6. Doherty dislocated the middle finger on his shooting hand. He, too, will probably start, but he'll be limited.
I can't really grip the ball right today. I can. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be a little better and be able to do some things. But right now, you know, it's...
I don't know about 100%, but I'll be close.
Surprises. On the men's side, defending champion Jim Courier won in straight sets. Pete Sampras, Michael Steek, and Andre Agassi also won their second-round matches. On the women's side, top seed Monica Seles advanced, as did Gabriella Sabatini and Jennifer Capriati. That'll do it from New York. For Quinn Buckner, I'm Bob Costas, and we'll return with second-half action, the Blazers and the Jazz, right after these messages from your local station.
This has been the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by the companies of the Prudential. In a changing world, one thing remains rock solid: the Prudential.
Bryant's morning.
At the start of this game, it looked as if the Utah Jazz were going to win this game, draw even in the series, 3 games apiece, blew out to a 9-0 lead, had a 13-point advantage down to 4 at halftime. You've been watching John Stockton. Does he appear to be 100% to you?
Oh, he's definitely 100%. He's aggressive, he's active, he's making the pinpoint passes, and that's why the Utah Jazz are up at halftime.
But they're up by only 4, and Clyde Drexler and Terry Porter did not have big first halves.
We didn't hear from them. They're non-existent as far as this ball game goes, but the Trailblazers got a big hit and a big lift from Buck Williams. Williams came in, gave them 15 points. He has been almost unheard of through all of these series, only averaging 5. He's got 15 and 7, so the Trailblazers are in the ball game.
All right, let's take a look at the Miller Genuine Draft halftime statistics. There is that backcourt scoring for Portland. Their strength, only 14 combined from Drexler and Porter, while Stockton and Jeff Malone have countered with 22. And Utah has out-rebounded Portland, perhaps that accounting for the 4-point lead. Free throws in a ballpark where usually it's Utah always at the line, fairly even in the first 24 minutes. And it's Drexler with only 4, Porter with but 6. The top 2 scorers in the series for the Trailblazers held in check the first half. Can Utah accomplish that in the next 24? If they can, perhaps Game 7 on Saturday.
To Burbank first to find out about the lineup on The Tonight Show. Here is Mr. Leno. Jay.
Hi, Bob. How are you? Boy, that clip-on tie looks pretty real from here.
Thanks so much.
Big show tonight. Who do we have? Well, we're not on at a normal time. We keep getting bumped ahead, but it is a good game, so that's okay. We got Sigourney Weaver tonight from Aliens 3. Have you seen that yet?
Have not. Looking forward to it, though.
No, you haven't. You're just sitting there.
I haven't. Right.
Don Francisco is here. Do you know who Don is?
He's the guy who hosts the Spanish-language Tonight Show, in effect, right?
Yeah. A very funny guy. Curtis Stigers, Tony Randall, Jack Klugman doing a live commercial. So it should be fun. You should check it out.
Yeah, they should be nearly as odd a couple as the two of us. We'll see when the ball game ends.
With this delay, you come on at, what, 5:45, I believe.
Something like that. It's butted right up against the Today Show. We're out of here. Back to Dick Enberg at the Delta Center, along with Magic Johnson and Snapper Jones, Jay Leno, and The Tonight Show a bit later on when the ball game concludes.
Bernie Weaver, Don Francisco, Curtis Stigers, and some other people.
Hey, it's Ed Hall. He's an announcer. I'm paying the guy. I might as well use him, huh? And Branford Marsalis, too. On The Tonight Show. Say something else. You're the announcer.
It's time. The time is up yet? Oh, no, the time's not up yet.
That's why we got him so cheap. Watch The Tonight Show tonight.
Wild and tangy.
There's a new Pringles. Barbecue. Pop the wild, tangy taste of new Pringles barbecue.
This is light.
Pringles Light. These are light? Let's put Pringles Light up against these bag chips. There's 25% less fat in Pringles than in these. And they're a lot less greasy.
Once you pop, you can't stop.
If you've looked at the high prices of luxury sports sedans, you're no doubt thinking maybe I should lower my expectations. Well, considering the Nissan Maxima SE has more power than a BMW 525i and more room than a Mercedes-Benz 300e, yet you pay thousands less than either of them, maybe you should keep your expectations high and just lower your payments. See your Nissan dealer for details, because right now you can lease a Maxima for as little as $279 a month.
Tracy Berry.
And I'm Pete Schulberg. Welcome to a special edition of News 8, and as it turns out, a very special edition because the Blazers are going to the championship series. They beat the Jazz tonight, as you just saw, 105-97. We're going to go live to Salt Lake City for some analysis of tonight's game. With a look ahead, we'll have post-game interviews.
That's right. Did you see Cliff Robinson after the game?
He wasn't happy or anything, was he?
Delirious. We'll tell you about a local businessman as well who's been on the edge of his seat tonight along with all the other Blazer fans. And we'll cover the news of the night, get the great weekend forecast. But let's start things out with sports director Eric Johnson.
He is at the Delta Center tonight in Salt Lake City. Eric, must be a happy moment for the Blazers.
Very happy moment. A few of them just walked out on the court to do some interviews with NBC. The rest of them inside the locker room right behind me. Hey, gang, we're going to the NBA Finals. The Trailblazers are for the second time in the past 3 years. They did it by winning a game on one of the toughest places, if not the toughest court to win in the NBA besides their own. Of course, the final 105-97. The Blazers trailed by 13 early on. One of the keys was coming back. But let's take a look at John Stockton early on in this game. There was some doubt as to whether his eyesight would be 100%, whether he'd be able to be a little gun-shy or not. He was not. He drove to the hoop consistently, and he was one of the key factors in giving the Jazz a 13-point lead early in the contest. He slowed down later on, though. The Blazers started clogging the lane, forcing him to shoot from the outside. He didn't have nearly as much success from out there as he did inside. The Blazers climbed back into this game thanks to a big finish to the first quarter and a big second quarter. They looked very strong. Yeah! Hey, come here, Terry. Terry, come here for a second. We got Terry Porter with us right now. Terry.
Yeah, he's doing nothing.
He's busy. He's busy for now.
I can't say enough about our team today. We just we knew they was going to come out and make a hard run at us, and we just had enough patience and poise to hang close enough where we can get some run. And
Look, everybody just did a great job. Through all night long, and you know, Duck carried us through most of the game when everybody.
13, easy at that point to maybe say, hey, this might not be our night. Didn't happen that way.
No. Tough.
John's Landing. This company has been watching it on television, just waiting to go to work. The buzzer ran down, the clock ran down, the Blazers won the championship, and the press here started.
Meyer and Franks and any of the NBA.
Oh, thanks, Carmen.
Yeah, we had an order of about 10 we were going to get. How to deal with all this?
Psychologist who has plenty of experience dealing with the rigors of Blazer mania.
This is the sign to remember.
Easy for him to say, but psychologist Elliot Weiner advised
what role does this play in my life?
interview, and they said, you know, I can't, I get so uptight. How?
Ready, but don't bite too hard. And is Weiner seeing more stress-related symptoms?
Johnson live in Salt Lake City with the
In the finals, yes, wouldn't have been good enough for the Trailblazer fans.
Do you feel as though, deep in your heart, Duck, do you feel as though this is the year at long last?
I feel deep in my soul.
All right, Kevin Duckworth, thank you very much. Congratulations. 5 days, he and the rest of the guys who came up so big tonight, Pete and Trey.
who will be the Blazers of the future, so be sure.
Against the Jazz.
I can't really say. Right is a big sign that said Saturn.
Come in today and save on everything you need to do the job right. Now through May 30th, you'll find it at Fred Meyer Home Improvement Center.
Police believe the same man is responsible.
The string of shootings.
A lot of calls from people wondering why we're not carrying NBC because Eric mentioned that some of the players were doing interviews with NBC. Well, let me highlights from People wondering about John Stockton's eye. Well, he had an eye for the basket. He scores. Moments later, he drives. In favor of the Jazz. The Jazz continue to stay hot. Edwards again. It was 21-8 Utah. The Blazers start to come alive. Jerome Kersey gets the loose hoop in. Was improved all of them. Karl Malone had a dozen points and they held. Hammers it over. When the Eastern Conference Finals end. So the NBA Finals will start next Wednesday, and you can see it all right here on Channel 8. Pete and Tracy, back to you.
Thanks, Joe. That'll give us a few days to rest up. Listen, Eric will be back in just a little while with some more post-game interviews, so Blazer fans, hang in there. But first, let's check in with Joe Satilli for a look at this great weather coming our way.
You know, Pete and Tracy, I think this is a time where we can all just calm down.
Just calm down. You're our little respite, the calming voice of reason.
We're going
Never
to talk
thought of you that way.
Talk about weather.
He wasn't yelling or anything during the game, was he?
No. So just weather, and we'll be calm about it.
Yeah.
Cloudy in the morning, partly cloudy in the afternoon. For the Gorge, morning clouds, west end otherwise sunny. Western valleys cloudy, chance for drizzle early, afternoon clearing. Portland, Vancouver area cloudy, chance for drizzle early. Partial afternoon clearing, about 72 tomorrow. Brief morning clouds Saturday, then lots of sunshine. Even more sunshine on Sunday at 84. And could be 88 on Monday. And with that, there's only one thing left to say, and that's bust a bucket, who dat dunk it, Blazer duty, super sunk it, slam and G's it, killer threes it, go up, get it, got it, good.
Woo!
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Duplicate that.
Isn't that something?
That's great.
I like it.
Number one Blazer fan.
Can you say that much?
No, I can't. I'm just going to try and say what.
Go Blazers.
Yeah, right.
Go Blazers.
That's good enough. Congratulations. Well, it is a night for celebration in Portland. The Blazers have eliminated the Utah Jazz in Salt Lake City, and we'll show you how they stuffed the Jazz in Game 6 when Channel 2 Sports takes the court. Next.
Cars simply sell for less in Vancouver, and the reasons are simple. Vancouver auto dealers pay lower property taxes and no state income tax. Lower overhead means lower prices. Oregon buyers do not pay sales tax in Vancouver. No sales tax means lower prices. Washington state interest rates have historically been lower than Oregon's. Lower interest rates mean lower prices. If you live in Vancouver, you already know. If you live in Portland, come and find out. Cars simply sell for less
in Vancouver.
The way most grocery stores price their goods, they expect you to run to save a penny here, a penny there. But at Fred Meyer, you can shop whatever you want and save on the products you need, like Kleenex facial tissue, including New Ultra with oil-free lotion, and Huggies diapers, specially designed to keep your baby drier. Tackle a full load of dirty clothes with only a half a cup of Ultra Tide. And save with over 10,000 lower prices every day. Fred Meyer, for people who love great food and lower prices.
Yesterday, my daughter called with her big news.
What was the score?
Wow, that's great. Of course I wanted to know that she won her soccer game, but I was also hoping to get the Harmon approval any minute. With voice messaging from US West, I didn't miss either call because my phone takes messages even when I'm on it. That works for me and the Harmons.
Order US West Business Voice Messaging and get our 90-day money-back guarantee. US West Communications, making the most of your time.
My wife bets me that I can't go into Builder's Square Garden Shop and get only what I need. Ha! Pruning shears. That's all I need are pruning shears. I don't need seed, fertilizer, hoses, sprinklers. I'm not the least bit interested in these yard tools. Even this weed terminator doesn't faze me. Look at these prices. So, I owe the wife $1. Builder's Square, the warehouse with everything for your house and your garden.
Well, the Portland Trail Blazers are the Western Conference champions. Portland getting the job done with their first win ever at the Delta Center in Salt Lake City tonight. It was tied after 3 quarters, but Portland breaks away in the 4th and held the mailman to just 2 points in the final period. Portland is going to the NBA Finals starting next Wednesday. And the Jazz start out like 5 kids in a stolen car. John Stockton shows his eye is okay. The Blazers are looking at a 9-0 deficit. Utah builds the lead to 13 when Blue Edwards lands this one in the nest. It's 21-8 Jazz. Jerome Kersey keeps Portland close, though. He puts in 10 points in the first quarter, and the Blazers get back within 3 after 1. The Blazers don't get to run much tonight, but they make the most of their breaks. Buck Williams to the slammer coming up here. And Buck with 15 first-half points, but the Jazz still lead by 4 at the half. Kevin Duckworth, another great night with the jumper. The Blazers take a 2-point lead after that one goes down. After a cold first half, Clyde wakes up in the third, too. 12 points in the quarter, but it's even at 77 after 3. Good start in the fourth quarter. Danny Ainge with back-to-back threes. And then the Blazers getting more points inside tonight. Terry to Clyde. It's Portland by 9. The Jazz cut it back to 4, but here's a big play coming up. Look at the hustle on this one. Get it down court. And off the other way where Terry ends up finishing it off. The Blazers finish off the Jazz in Game 6, 105-97. The Blazers, Western Conference champs once again.
We thought about ways to get him more involved in the offensive end, and the first half of today's game was just a great job by Buck to get himself into the game. I think he didn't wait for anyone to get him the ball. He just took charge, and just a great overall game.
Buck, what did Magic tell you over there when you left us so abruptly?
You know, Magic just congratulated our team. He said that we were a very fine team, and that was pretty much it. And he just felt that we could win it all.
And stick around for our Blazer Extra show coming up at 11:30, an expanded look at the highlights and lots of comments from the Blazers on their Western Conference title. Lou Gillos, Greg Smith will host the show live from Salt Lake City. Well, Stacey King will be writing a $5,000 check for this head check on Danny Ferry last night. The mugging earned King a flagrant foul call and an ejection. Ouch. Ferry was the guy called for a flagrant foul, you remember, and fined $5,000 himself in Game 4. Well, Chuck Daly didn't stay out of NBA coaching very long, did he? Just 3 weeks after resigning from the Detroit Pistons job, Daly takes the head coaching position with the New Jersey Nets today. Mario Lemieux continues to dominate the Stanley Cup playoffs. Number 66 breaks a 1-all tie with the power play goal in the second period, and then Lemieux adds his 15th goal of the playoffs just 2.5 minutes later. Pittsburgh makes it stand up tonight. Pittsburgh 3, Chicago 1. The Hawks are like fish out of water right now. They are down 2-0. On the Diamonds, the Giants call the squeeze play, but it turns into a kamikaze run for Robbie Thompson. Royce Clayton misses the pitch, and Thompson has tire tracks on him because he gets run down. No problems missing this pitch, though, for Ryan Sandberg, his 7th bleacher feature of the year. And the Cubs over the Giants today by a score of 5-0. Just 3 other games in the majors to tell you about. Kansas City with a royal win over the Tigers. Texas doubles up Chicago. And the Red Sox hold off the Angels by a score of 2-1. And at Civic Stadium tonight, the Beavers lose one to Vancouver by a score of 5-3. So everybody getting their travel plans ready once we find out about Game 6 with Cleveland and Chicago tomorrow.
Okay, Georgia's still at the Hillsborough Airport. Blazer 1 hasn't landed yet, but we'll be switching back out to him. And if we don't do it in the newscast,
Blazer get him in Blazer Extra,
yeah.
right.
Okay.
See you in a few minutes.
Okay.
Tom. Thanks. And when we come back, we'll introduce you to more royalty. Past Rose princesses and queens gathered to honor Rose Festival 92.
Also a list of festival activities for the next 2 days.
Summer's coming. Wouldn't you like to fit into something a few sizes smaller? Hurry in for your best deal on a new Civic hatchback or sedan.
I hate my purse. There's this black hole at the bottom of it. But now I travel light. In fact, when I go to Thriftway this week, I'm just taking this, my ATM card. See, Thriftway has an easier way to pay, Ready Pay. Say you want to get this blade cut chuck steak. And who wouldn't? It's only 99 cents a pound. You just slide your card through the machine and enter your personal code. You can even get cash back. You don't even need a purse. Of course, you'll want to take your shopping list.
This is a mobile home?
Honey, manufactured home.
Great house.
Happy housewarming. Glad I have room for all these people.
This bedroom is huge.
Hey, big bathroom.
Uh-oh, move over.
Yow, I'm hungry. Plenty to eat in all these cupboards. We'll be back.
I just love it.
For more information on today's manufactured homes, call 1-800-35-OWNER.
I can't believe it's a manufactured home.
The Nightly Entertainment Report is brought to you by Chevrolet, the heartbeat of America.
There are two kinds of cars. The cars you love to drive and the cars you need to drive. The cars that really handle and the cars that handle the groceries. The cars you don't want to stop driving and the cars that make the stops you need. With standard anti-lock brakes and a 200 horsepower V6, Chevy Lumina Euro 3.4 is two kinds of car for one kind of driver. You. The cars more people depend on. And now it's easy to win with the heartbeat.
Rose Festival is highlighted in our entertainment report tonight. There was a room full of royalty at Lloyd Center tonight. It was the annual gathering of former Rose Festival princesses and queens. Among them, Queen Barbara, Rose Queen of the 1948 Rose Festival.
If you could just let every girl in Portland be it, that would be the best thing. It's marvelous.
Well, here's a list highlighting some of the events for the first 2 days of Rose Festival. The Rose Festival Fun Center at Waterfront Park opens at 11 a.m. tomorrow. At noon, it's the Festival of Flowers at Pioneer Courthouse Square. Thousands of colorful flowers displayed there. At 9:45 tomorrow night, fireworks down at Waterfront Park. On Saturday, it's the Golden Rose Ski Classic at Timberline. Starts at 9 a.m. At 8 p.m., the Starlight Run in downtown Portland. That's Saturday night. And at 8:30, the popular Starlight Parade.
At this time, we usually give a last look at the weather, but instead, considering this night,
Yeah.
Jim's going to give us the Blazer cheer.
This is by popular request, huh?
Yeah.
I'll do it if you'll sing bass, okay?
Okay.
Because Bust a Bucket, Who Dat Dunk It, Blazer Duty, Super Sunk It, Slam and Jeez It, Killer Threes It, Go Up, Get It, Got It, Good.
I didn't get
Jay.
a chance to do the
Bust a Bucket.
There you go.
I want to ask Ron, you think the Blazers will get those tags cut off those nifty new hats by the time they get back to Portland?
Style, man. They're styling. Yeah, you got to leave those tags on there.
Wait to see all the fans tomorrow with the tags still hanging in there.
Okay.
Hey, our other Yell leader, George Smith, is out at the airport just waiting for the Blazers to arrive. We'll check in with him in just a moment in Blazer Extra.
Blazer Extra is next, everybody. Go Blazers. Congratulations.
Announcing one of the most significant opportunities in Cadillac history. Today, through a limited-time factory incentive plan, the exciting new 1992 Cadillac Eldorado can be yours at substantial savings. When introduced, this spirited new Eldorado was priced thousands below competing imports. Now, with special factory incentives, the money you can save is even greater, thousands greater. See your Northwest Cadillac dealer today and save thousands. The excitement of the test drive? It won't cost you a dime.
This suit at the Men's Warehouse is $200. This double-breasted, also $200. And tailored, $200. These quality suits are all $200 at the Men's Warehouse. Elsewhere, they'd be closer to $300. All-wool tuxedos, $200. We've got a great selection of quality suits for $200. We guarantee it.
The Men's Warehouse, Beaverton, Clackamas, Salem, and now open in downtown Portland at Southwest 6th and Taylor.
Surrender to the music of the night.
The power of the music of the night.
The music of Andrew Lloyd Webber. A spectacular theatrical concert. From Evita, Cats, Jesus Christ Superstar, Phantom of the Opera. The music of Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Tickets go on sale Friday. Teens Under Pressure, Sunday at 6 on Town Hall.
Channel 2 Sports presents Blazer Extra, an NBA playoff special report. Now here's your host, Lou Gallo.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome live to the Delta Center in Salt Lake City, Utah, where it's very quiet now. In fact, only the workers tearing down the floor for tomorrow night's Rush concert are busy. The Blazers rushed right out of here, heading back to Portland, and when they land, we'll go there with George Smith so you can see the welcoming contingent on hand. There is a big crowd out there. The Blazers win tonight, 105-97. They clinched the Western Conference Championship, and that means a trip to the finals. As usual, Greg Smith is with us. You followed us all the way through the playoffs to provide your analysis from the perspective of a player who's got one of those championship rings. In fact, hold it up there and hold it steady. That's what the Blazers are playing for now. This is the ring that Greg won as a member of the Milwaukee Bucks. And you get a nice close-up look, and there's the diamond in the middle, and it's big and it's huge. But see, Greg has big hands. Now look at my fingers next to it. See how small they are? Okay, that's what the Blazers are playing for now, the championship ring, which eluded them 2 years ago in Detroit, and they come in as a very, very different team. Same players, really, but a very different attitude. You'll see in the interviews, as we'll go to those in a moment, that in the locker room, the Blazers are very composed. They're happy, but they're not exuberant like they were 2 years ago. They know that this isn't the end. There's one more trip to make, either Chicago or Cleveland. Let's check in with our first batch of interviews in the locker room with a couple of the Blazers. Buck, what did Magic tell you over there when you left us so abruptly?
You know, Magic just congratulated our team. He said that we were a very fine team, and that was pretty much it. And he just felt that we could win it all.
Let's talk about experience a little bit, because you're back to the finals for the second time in 3 years. You were one step away last year, so it's not like you're the new kids on the block anymore, the rap that you had that first year. Is that going to make a difference, do you think, the experience?
There's no question. I saw how Detroit tore us apart, you know, the first year in the finals, and I just thought that what separated two teams was their experience. So now we take experience back to the finals, and I think also not only experience from a year ago, but experience during this series in terms of staying off the officials and really just staying focused and concentrate on the game. But tonight was one of those kind of games that it wasn't typical Trailblazer basketball. We did not out-rebound this team. You know, we shot the free throws very well coming out of the stretch. They go up 13 points, and we still came back and played very tough. And I think what really separated teams tonight was our mental toughness. Everyone really stuck it in there and really came up with a big plays.
In the second half, you finally got the lead. What did you do that finally got you over the hump?
I think what we did was, when we finally tied the score, I think we executed. We got the shots we wanted. We took great care of the ball, and more importantly, the defense was just very good tonight.
Were you surprised it came down to a half-court game at the end, the last 3-4 minutes? The thing that you've been criticized for in the past, but you worked on so hard in the last year, boy, it really paid off.
I think every time we play Utah, we have to play the half-court game, and I think it's a testimony to the last couple of years, because we've been able to beat them here in a best-of-7 series, that we are capable of playing a half-court game.
They certainly were, and I think it strikes me again, and I mentioned it before we went into the interviews, you've been in this situation before. They were so businesslike, they were so calm. They really are men on a mission. They haven't done anything yet, at least in their eyes.
In their eyes, I don't think they have. They feel that way. They are focused. This team wants to win the NBA title. I was in the locker room with them, and they were making some noise, but they weren't jumping up and down, hitting each other on the head and bursting champagne. Matter of fact, Harry Gutman was in the locker room and said, "Harry, where's the champagne?" He said, "Not yet, not yet." So these guys are very focused. They were very congratulatory of each other for each part each player played, and even the guys who didn't get a chance to play tonight were very happy to be a part of this whole entire win tonight.
In a moment, we'll get to see just how everyone contributed. Certainly no one more important than Buck Williams, who in the first quarter came up big in the scoring column with 10 points. He had only 11 in the last game, but 10 in just the first quarter. And had he not had those points early, the Utah Jazz might have been on their way to blowing them out here. The Blazers maintained their composure. And that's something that Terry Porter and Jerome Kersey and Coach Rick Adelman were all excited about. The team play and the fact that they really gutted up when they had to.
Well, you know, I think everybody in this room realized the important thing for us is to make sure we have a chance to win it. We knew if we had a chance to win it, we would make the plays and come out with the big defensive stops that we had to. In game 3 and 4, you know, it just didn't happen. We kind of lost our composure a little bit, but I think today it just showed. We just did a much better job of keeping our composure, although, you know, they had quite a few foul lines, got to the free throw line quite a bit down the stretch, because they had 5 fouls and they were going to penalty. But, you know, we just zeroed in on what we had to get done.
You're now in the finals for the second time in 3 years. Is experience going to make the difference this time?
I don't know. And when there's a big gap in between, I don't know if his experience is different. It'd be different if we came, you know, it was back-to-back. But with the year in between, I don't think this is going to make them. I think these guys just know what it takes to win, and it doesn't really matter.
it feels great to having missed it last year and to come so close last year and having to miss it, and then coming back this year and putting everything back together again and getting back to the championship. You know, it's just a wonderful feeling to know that a lot of people said, well, this team can't make it back, and we proved a lot of people wrong, and now we got one more thing left to do.
Can experience make the difference this time, since you have been down this road 2 years in a row now, and now you're here again? It's not going to be like they're the new kids on the block.
Well, it better make a difference. I tell you, you should learn some when you play this long in the playoffs, and 1 year you go to the championship round. It should make a difference when you come back again, and I sincerely hope it does, and I know it will.
This was a great win for us, but it's just one more step. I felt the same thing. It was the first time it was such a thrill because I don't think, you know, it hit us so quickly in 1 year that you just don't expect it. This year, you know, we expected it last year, and this year we expected it, and we felt we could do it. We were confident in ourselves. We've been playing well all year, so I think that's why. I think guys just think if we played our capabilities, we can win, and that's how they felt tonight.
And that was really key, too, because they needed to play to their capabilities down the stretch to stall Utah with this frenzied crowd in here from building that momentum and taking it away from the Blazers and taking this game. They had those steely nerves to the end, and I think that is a sign of the experience. You've been there again, Greg. Do you think they're different this time than they were the last 2 years?
Oh, they are different. This team had to have the experience, and they had to have the maturity to do what they did tonight. They had to come back from 3 different situations in the ball game. We all saw the game. The fans at home saw the game. There were situations where the team could have exploded in the 7-minute mark in the 4th quarter. They did not. There was a period when Jerome could have exploded when he was going for a loose ball and got into a little tangle with Karl Malone. There was experience that showed in the 1st quarter when they were down 13 points against this ball club. They were shooting a torrid 50+%. We were shooting very poorly. They did not fold. They knew they had the experience to come back. This team is very coachable. Through their failures the last 2 years, Rick has been able to put together an offense and a strong defensive team on this ball club. And the defense is the key to this ball club here. I think they rely on it. I don't think other teams can really quite get a handle on how these guys can come up, stay in the ball game close enough to win it at the end.
And we'll be focusing on these little items that you just mentioned as we go along this evening. First, though, we want to get a handle on what's going on in Hillsboro, because it is possible that in the next 20 minutes or so, the Blazers will arrive at Hillsboro, and you can imagine they're going to get quite a reception when they do. Let's join George Smith. That's who's out at Hillsboro. George, what's going on?
Well, Lou, it looks awfully quiet down there, but that's not the case here. Thousands of passionate Blazer fans are up here right now. There have been a couple of sightings of planes, but no Blazer one just yet. Now, we asked this crowd just a little while ago, do they want Cleveland or Chicago? Who do you guys want?
We want Chicago! We want Chicago! We want Chicago! We want Chicago! We want Chicago!
I think you get a sense, Lou, that they want Chicago and they want to see Clyde versus Jordan, and they don't want to be like Mike. Lou, back down to you.
Okay, thanks, George. We might add that we'll come back to George if that team plane does arrive while we're on the air tonight. We're going to check the first half and second half highlights, and we're making the assumption that you've seen the game, but there are some key plays that we want to bring up, which we think were important in how the Blazers put this together. Let's check the first half and see how things went there. Very obvious that Portland was in trouble early when they fell behind 9-0. Terry Porter missed the 3. Mark Eaton with the rebound over Duck. Utah on the break, and Blue hit at the other end. 9-0 Utah, and the lead could have been larger, except Jerome had 2 great blocks to really stall them.
Exactly. Jerome went back to what he was doing on Tuesday night. Strong blocks right here that led to another fast break down the other end. Jerome, what can you say about it? He's the sheriff of the basketball court.
And Buck Williams was really important with Buck. He takes a tumble there, is knocked down, but Buck was 8 for 8 from the free throw line in the first quarter, and that's what kept Portland in the game. They were down 9-0, and they wound up being down by only 3 at the end of one. Utah on the break here, something we haven't seen too much, but it was capped by what they did on the defense. Jeff Malone capped the 3-on-1, and Utah was back to a 10-point margin. But as you said, Greg, what they did was not fold in this situation. Terry Porter making Karl Malone come out to him and then going right by him, forcing it inside, kicking it to Jerome. That pulls them back within 3, and it was a 4-point game at the end of the first half.
That was a real smart play on Terry's part. Matter of fact, Clyde was coming over to get the ball from Terry, and Terry waved him off, said, I got one here. He can't guard me. He gave him a head and shoulder fake. Boom, went baseline, saw Jerome in the corner, and there he goes, down with the shot. The 3 and 4 spot for Portland tonight came through. Jerome and Buck were very, very tough for Portland, scoring 10 points in that first quarter. Very good performance.
Second half now. Let's move on to what happened there. And once again, this is where they really settled down. The game really became a half-court game at this point. A nice ball movement here. Duck and Clyde watch 5 passes as Portland finally gets its first lead of the ball game, 61-60. And then the defense, Greg, that you've talked about when they jammed Stockton here.
They jammed it right here. Stockton went in too deep. This team collapses so well. They have such quick hands. I've always said they have busy hands, and they stay busy in situations like that.
So the game was tied at the end of 3 quarters, and so we moved to the 4th quarter where Utah's season would be decided. Once again, working the ball around to the open man, this time Mark Bryant. You could feel the tension of the Utah fans at this point. When Bryant hits, they're going, who's he? And that was a 6-point Portland lead then. Then the crowd screaming. Portland was kind of unorganized, and you liked the way Danny Ainge said, let's calm down.
This was key. He just had the team to calm down a little bit, got them back into their offense, back into that ball movement we had just mentioned a moment ago. And, of course, then Terry takes him right in here, down low to Clyde. This is the movement this team needs to keep in mind.
9-point lead at that point, and you could sense it. It was, they knew they were going to win at this point. They blocked Utah at the other end. And listen to the end of this play as we hear Terry Porter after the basket.
I think you would call this is a defiant one against 18,000 people. And he said, yeah, I hit that. And so, of course, these people got a little hostile later on as the tail end of the ball game. They're throwing items from up there in the yonder land someplace and hitting a few people down below.
They hit the key shots. That came at 30 seconds to go. They knew they had won then. Here's why they won, in our estimation. The 4th spot, we've talked about it on the previous Blazer Extra broadcast because it was so important that Buck contain the play of Karl Malone, but he also had to be important on offense to keep Karl busy at both ends of the floor.
Exactly. He had to do that. He was slipping in there and getting those shots off, and it's very key to us to get him on the board. He scored 15 points tonight, 11 points the other night. And the 2 losses that we had against Utah, he only had 2 points each in one of those games.
Here's Buck at the other end. Watch him block the shot from behind. This led to a fast break for the Blazers, and this is what helped get their offense going.
It certainly did, and this is what this team loves to do. Though they lost points to Utah tonight on the fast break, Utah scored more points than we did on the fast break, which is very surprising.
And the free throws. We can't say how important those were in the first quarter, hitting 8 for 8, and that's what kept Portland in the game, and a situation where they could have easily been blown out. Let's skip ahead to the 4th quarter because the defense that Portland played is something you also think was a key.
Oh, it was very key. The defense they put together in the 4th quarter really put a hurt on Utah to the max. They did not know what to do. They were hesitating on all situations. When they hesitate, Portland is quick enough to respond to any mistake that the team may make. And then Cliff goes down and slams it through, and then Cliff, of course, loved this. And this young man played really hard and loose tonight. One thing that I was talking with Jeff Peacher, he said, Cliff, we want you to smile more. And anyway, come down here, a block shot. The team has just played real strong inside.
2 efforts by Utah, a 3rd effort there. Here comes a 4th effort. The Portland Trail Blazers are all around the ball. It forces a jump ball, and that certainly was key. But no pictures needed for the final graphic.
Yes, composure was so important, particularly at the 7-minute mark. When we went, at 9 minutes we had, it was both team fouls 1 apiece, and then all of a sudden we went from that to 5 team fouls, and that was a problem. So the Portland Trail Blazers hung tough, didn't lose their composure, and stayed strong throughout the whole entire game. And they came away with a win.
That was something, frankly, loss of composure that the Utah Jazz were almost hoping for, and at the end of the game, they were praying for it. We went to the Jazz locker room afterwards, and Jeff Malone and Mark Eaton had nothing but praise for the Blazers. They think they do have a shot to win the whole thing. Well, tell us what you think about this Portland team and their chances in the finals, whoever they may face.
Oh, Clyde, it's time for the West to win. You know, he laughed, but I think they have a great chance. You know, I don't know the outcome of the game tomorrow, but if it's Chicago and Portland, I think they have a great chance. They got to go win a big one on the road up there. They'll be okay.
Portland, #1, did a great job of weathering the storm. You know, we threw everything we had at them in that first half, and they were still right there at the end of at halftime. And the second half, I think their defense got to us. I thought they did a great job of double teaming and trapping and generally screwing up our execution, and we weren't able to do the things we wanted to offensively. And then they came down the other end and did a great job moving the ball and I think hitting the open shot. And, that was a difference. I mean, what can you say? It was a good game, and things didn't go too well for us in the second half, and unfortunately that's the end of the season. And, I hope the Blazers take care of Chicago and at least keep the championship in the Western Conference.
And that was nice to hear, the fact that after battling each other through 6 games, Utah, and Magic Johnson for that matter, at the top of our broadcast, you saw Buck Williams and Clyde pulled over by Magic in the corner of the Blazer locker room. There seems to be a camaraderie in the West that NBA title has been out east for too long.
They want to keep it here in the West, and that's very gracious of Magic to come in and do that. And both guys were very attentive over in the corner, and folks used to start. All the cameras went in that direction when Magic walked in and pulled these two players over. And of course, every eyes were on that corner. But that was really complimentary of the Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah, Buck was talking with us at the time and came back and apologized for leaving to go talk to Magic, but it was good pictures for us, so we enjoyed getting a chance, another crack at him. Let's look at the team statistics and give you an idea what happened. A strange ball game in the sense, well, we'll get to the team in a moment. First, the individual, Clyde with 18. A very balanced attack.
Very balanced. Porter, who only had 2 points, he scored 11 points in the fourth quarter. This is where he came through for. Jerome Kersey stayed strong throughout the game. Of course, Buck Williams had a huge first quarter and a second quarter, and of course, Doug played strong throughout the whole entire period when he wasn't in foul trouble. He played real well during the whole period.
The Utah Jazz, conversely, on the other side, 23 points from Karl Malone, well below what he's had in this series. He's been up in the 30s and in some cases the high 30s, but at a big statistic, Karl Malone in the fourth quarter.
In the fourth quarter, only 2 points for Karl Malone. He took 2 shots, which is very rare for him to do, but the defense was so well guarded against him, he had problem with it. One of the things the officials did not make a difference in this game is many times Karl hit the floor, he didn't get those calls. But the guy that big to fall that many times, it's kind of tough, huh?
Yeah, I mean, if I could do this, you wouldn't fall, but Malone would, and he's bigger than you are.
He'd be out of the picture by now, but the team stayed strong through the whole period, and that made a huge difference tonight.
Now, I want to tell you, we will be going to Hillsboro in a moment if something's going on. Also tell you we have some more Blazer interviews coming your way, but first let's check the team statistics and get an idea of what I think was a strange ball game because things were so one-sided, really in Utah's favor in many of these categories.
Exactly. It's like Utah pitched a no-hitter and lost and walked a guy in the ninth inning. And rebounds, 54-36. Unheard of for a Portland Trail Blazer team to lose that many rebounds to a ball club.
But that second half shooting by Utah, and especially in the fourth quarter, really brought their game total from the field down.
It brought it down. With Portland's defense and the way they were running this team really tired them out. I think Jeff Malone made a statement in the third quarter, latter part of the third, we got very tired. So when your legs go away, you cannot shoot as well. The Utah Jazz shot 22% in the fourth quarter. And turnovers, a bit of a factor. We had 12, they had 17, but those turnovers came at a key period in the fourth quarter. Portland came away with 4 turnovers of the 12 of the 17 that Utah wound up having was very key to us. Block shot, 8-3. Jerome had 4 of those. The sheriff, if you will.
And this is coming from a team that expects Mark Eaton to do a lot of that.
Mark cannot move laterally. He can go backwards and forward, but he cannot move that way. And this is what Portland was able to do. When they get that ball movement against this team, Mark cannot go in that direction. That weakens their ball club. So I'm sure it's something I have to look at for next year.
Okay, now, when the ball game was over, we're sitting in the locker room, not sitting, we're running around from player to player. And the question came up about the Portland fans, because people were talking about the Utah fans. So naturally the question was, well, what about the Blazer fans? Do you have any message for them? So we asked the players to look right at you at home, and here's what they had to say.
We would not be where we are without our fans. I mean, that's why we're good at home. We didn't want to rely on them, though. We want to try to get it done here. And we have the best fans in the world, and they've taken this team to heart, and we're trying to repay them a little bit and see if we can't keep the excitement going and maybe the dream lives on.
I just want to thank them for all their support this year. I think they've done a tremendous job. If anything, about a 6th man in terms of the fans, I think our fans have been a 6th man for us all season long, and they deserve a lot of credit.
You guys are the reason we're here. Thanks for your support. You're wonderful.
Hey, get ready for the big show, because we're coming home. Rip City, baby. Here we go.
Here we go, and here they are. Let's go to George Smith. The plane has arrived in Hillsboro. George, take it away.
Okay, Lou, you can't see me right now, but right now the crowd, they're chanting, Blazers, Blazers. The door is opening up to Blazer 1. Right now, there are the Western Conference champions preparing to come out. Now, there are thousands of people out here right now. They've been waiting here for hours. As soon as the game was over, they started filing out this way. There's heavy security here, and we're hoping to talk them through. There's Rick Adelman. Listen to the crowd. There's Marshall Glickman. There's Jerome Kersey. There you see them coming out one by one. Cliff Robinson coming out, a big smile. Buck Williams, Lou, we're told that the players are going to go greet their families and hug them and be congratulated, and then they're going to address this crowd, hopefully in just a few minutes.
Okay, the players obviously going in the opposite direction of the cameras at this point in Hillsboro, and naturally, as soon as they say hello to their families and come back over toward George Smith and our Channel 2 location, we'll return to Hillsboro and hear more of what's going on there. Let's give them some time to do that and speculate here a little bit.
Okay.
Chicago and Cleveland. We don't know who it's going to be yet. We already know that they kind of want to play Chicago because they want to play Michael, and they want to play the team that everybody thinks is the best and the defending champion, and perhaps they are the best team. What do you think?
I think Portland can win against either one of the ball clubs. I'm sure either one of those two clubs are saying the same thing. What we have seen Portland do during this series is to win the ball game when they should not be winning. If you look at the stats based on the last two ball games, Utah should have won these ball games. But Portland somehow stays there long enough to win it at the end, and that shows a great deal of quality. They have enough of an arsenal defensively to make a huge difference in any ball game. They are big men, as I always say, moving very fast and very quickly down the court. They can be physical if they have to be. They can have finesse when they need it. And so this club has a lot they can offer to against any ball club, whether it be Cleveland or whether it's Chicago.
Okay, what do they have to do to stop? Let's start with Chicago. What do you think the Blazers have to do to handle the Chicago Bulls?
Chicago Bulls, I don't take them for granted, which they will not. They would play them man for man. I think our players can match up very well against them. I think that Chicago defensively cannot do anything against our ball club. I think we can do an awful lot against their club. Tonight, there's two key situations that keeps going back in my head. The Phoenix game, when Kevin Johnson went to the basket, Clyde was on him, Clyde let him go. And he missed a shot, we got the rebound. Tonight, another key situation where Clyde was going to, when Stockton was coming for a layup, Clyde let him go. He missed a shot, we got the ball, went back down the court. He could have fouled very easily, but these teams do it at the right time.
Okay, let's go back to Hillsboro now, where Clyde Drexler is addressing the crowd.
That's right, Lou, I'm here with Clyde Drexler right now. It's got to feel very good right now.
Oh, it's a great feeling. I think we really worked hard to get to this point. It's a tremendous feeling.
What's this reception like for you?
This is awful warm. This is just indicative of the kind of support that you get in Portland, Oregon. It's just a wonderful thing to have happen.
Do you feel, how do you feel about pulling off this victory down in Utah? Very tough team to beat.
Well, no one really gave us a chance to win down there, and we wanted to show everyone that we were capable of winning on the road, and this is a very, very sweet victory.
Going to win the championship?
That's our goal. I think getting there is just not enough this year. I think we want to win the whole thing. I think it's time for us to win.
Okay, you're looking forward to playing Michael Jordan.
It doesn't matter who we play. Whoever we play is going to be a formidable opponent, and we just have to be ready, and hopefully we will be.
Okay, good luck to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We're going to need it.
Okay. Lou, that's Clyde Drexler. Back to you.
You know, I thought I recognized that guy. I knew who that was. Thank you, George. Live from Hillsboro, where the Blazers have now arrived, and you heard him sing the same song that we mentioned at the top. It's not enough just to get there. This time they want to win it. Who will they face? Well, the next game, we do know this, is on Wednesday, and it will be played in one of two places. Should Chicago win the Eastern Conference Final, then the game will be in Chicago at 6 o'clock Portland time. If Cleveland wins, then the game will be in Portland first. But let's quickly go back to George with another Blazer. George?
Join Jerome Kersey.
And it's like nice to have a road win again, and you know, it meant so much, and it's, you know, it's going to help us, I think, down the road.
Anything to say to Chicago or Cleveland at this point?
Well, we're waiting. We won't wait too long. Okay.
How's it feel being Western Conference champs once again?
Oh, it feels great. You know, it means we're the best out here, and hopefully we can go on and say we're the best in the world. So we got a little bit more work to do.
Did you expect this kind of a crowd when you got back?
Well, as gauging from 2 years ago with Phoenix, we kind of expected it.
Any message for them?
Oh, you know, it's tremendous. I mean, I'm glad it's a warm night and it's not raining.
Thanks very much. Okay, Lou, back to you.
Okay, George, we'll stand by with you in case you grab another Blazer. In the meantime, we were talking about the next game. To reiterate, if Chicago wins the Eastern Final, Game 1 will be in Chicago on Wednesday. If Cleveland wins that NBA Final, then the first two games will be in Portland. So we can't say the site. In either case, we'll be back at 11:30 with another edition of Blazer Extra. We were talking about Chicago to give George some time to get another Blazer. Let's talk about Cleveland. You think they have a chance to win, but they have a couple of little hurdles.
They have a couple of hurdles. Mark Price tweaked an ankle. Doherty has a sore finger, I think, something like that, and they're going up against a Chicago team who's going out for blood. They know they have to go over to Cleveland to beat this ball club.
Well, you feel just perfectly, Greg. Let's go back to Hillsborough, where Terry Porter is standing by.
We have Terry Porter joining us now. Your thoughts about winning the championship again, conference championship?
Well, it's a great honor. It's something we've always tried to continue to work on this year, and it's great to be able to win, especially in Utah, because there's been so much talk of how well they play at home, and I think people tend to forget about how good of a road team we are. And it's great to be able to finish it on national TV like that.
If you do play Chicago, they have the home court advantage. Does that trouble you at all?
Not really. We're a very good road team. We know what know we have to do on the road, and the most important thing is we just have to be focused and be ready.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right.
You hear the crowd cheering for Terry Porter right now. Lou, back to you again.
Okay, George Smith, the latest member of the Channel 2 Sports Department, and doing a yeoman's job in Hillsborough with the rabid Hillsborough fans. And actually, they're not all from Hillsborough, but I mean, that's where the plane landed, and the fans are there. You wanted to talk about the fans because you talked to some of the Blazers about the fans.
Yeah, the fans they gave the official. First of all, the official took a beating, folks. You didn't see this because, of course, they showed it on television. They were leaving that tunnel right there. They were bombarded by paper wads, by cups, by a little bit of everything except, and those little towels they were waving around, they threw them at the officials. So you guys are great at home. You're classy. You're just wonderful fans. And, of course, from the upper tiers came huge paper wads again down to some of the players. Unfortunately, never hit none of the players. It hit a lot of fans because this place is so large in here, it never made it to the ground without hitting a few fans.
You're not suggesting, perhaps, that the Utah fans were whiners or crybabies, are you?
No, we wouldn't do that. They weren't whining. Yeah, they were upset. Matter of fact, as we were producing the show outside, they were whining.
Well, one person who's not whining is Rick Adelman, the coach of the Trailblazers, and he's with George Smith in Hillsborough. George?
Here we go, Rick Adelman.
Defensively of our series, and we did that. I think our guys just responded. We gave ourselves a chance to win in the fourth quarter, and we took it over from there.
How much more mature is this team now than it was when they were...
Well, it is more mature. I think when we went to the finals 3 years ago or 2 years ago, whenever it was, this team's only been together 3 years. With the group we have, this is our third year together, and you learn, you grow, and we've grown. And I think you see that in this team right now. And we know what we're up against. We've been through all this now, so we're ready to go.
Jazz in Game 6 winning the Western Conference Finals. Good evening, everyone.
The Blazers are now the Western Conference champions and are now headed to the NBA Finals. Let's go to Ron Carlson for more. Ron?
Well, bring on Chicago or Cleveland, whoever it might be. The Blazers are going to the NBA Finals. Portland overcomes a 13-point deficit in the first quarter to win their first game ever in the new Delta Center, 105-97. The Jazz look ready to send it to Game 7 in the first quarter. They run off the first 9 points of the game, but the Blazers fight back, and when Clyde Drexler knocks in 12 points in the third quarter, it's even after 3. Now, the Blazers step up strong in the fourth period. This time it's Portland getting the points in the paint. While Karl Malone gets just 2 fourth-quarter points, the Blazers are getting help from everyone, and Portland eliminates the Jazz tonight by a score of 105-97. Sports director Lou Gellos was in Salt Lake for the conference clincher tonight. Lou, that must have been some fun in the locker room afterward.
Oh, it was very exciting, as you might imagine, but there's one major difference from years past. 2 years ago when Portland won the Western Conference Finals and went into the NBA Finals, you'll recall that scene of the players piling on top of each other underneath one basket. They were so excited to be heading to the finals. This year, not that reaction, and not that reaction from the locker room either. They still have one more step to take, and that is against either Chicago or Cleveland, as you said. But first things first, they have to fly back to Portland. They're doing that now, and with any luck at all, will arrive within our hour that we will be with you here from 11 until midnight. So we may be able to join them live, but for the moment, let's join them in the locker room after tonight's win.
Well, it shows the talent of this team, the heart and the hard desire that they have to want to be the #1 team in the league. So we crossed one barrier, now we got another one to go.
The difference in the game that we didn't crack right at the beginning when we could have. We just stayed in the game.
Although Utah was playing very well early, we just didn't crack. I think it's a tribute to the character of this team. I think everybody just hung in there, and good things can happen when you continue to work hard.
And the good thing that happens next is a trip to the NBA Finals. And you can tell by those interviews, they're rather subdued, rather businesslike in what they talked about. There were some happy moments. We'll be back with Blazer Extra at 11:30 with all of that. And we'll hear from the Utah Jazz as well, who seem to think that this team has a very good chance of going to the championship and winning it, not just going there. Magic Johnson stopping Clyde and Buck in the locker room, taking them to a corner and saying the same thing. We'll have all those details for you coming up at the bottom of the hour. Ron?
Great, Lou. Thanks very much. We'll look forward to hearing a lot more from Lou and Greg Smith and the players at 11:30 on Blazer Extra.
Oh, did you see those hats the Blazers are wearing in the locker room?
Yeah, some new style with that tag on the side. Thanks, Ron.
They started something, right? All right, well, Blazer fans, you can imagine, are already gathering to welcome home the Western Conference champs. Right now, let's go to George Smith, who's among those waiting for the arrival. George?
That's right, Julie and Jeff. And who do you guys want? You get a sense of just how wild it is out here. There are about 1,000 people out here right now. The police are expecting 1,000 or 2,000 more. Tonight, we mauled the Jazz. We mauled the Jazz. Now, we've leveled the Lakers. We've eclipsed the Suns, and we've razzed and mauled the Jazz. When the Blazers arrive here tonight, they're going to get a hero's welcome, something they've probably never seen before. It's a very orderly crowd. They started coming here as soon as the game was over, and they're very impassioned right now. What do you want? What do you want? We can't tell you when the plane is going to come, but it's soon and very soon. Jeff and Julie will check back with you later on.
Okay, we'll keep checking in with you, George, and as soon as that plane arrives, Blazer 1, we'll be switching right out there for a live report.
Okay.
Okay, watch your ears tonight, George. They're going to be ringing. Okay, well, tonight's Western Conference Championship means a long night for employees at one Portland T-shirt company, but you won't hear any complaints. Western Conference Champion T-shirts are already hot off the presses at BC Graphics in Southeast Portland. Employees have to provide 10,000 shirts to area stores by noon tomorrow.
And so we'll be working around the clock probably tonight and the next couple of days, if not for the next couple of weeks. Yeah, people don't get to see their families for the next couple of weeks, but it's all worth it.
You'll be able to find the T-shirts tomorrow at area sporting goods stores and department stores. Now, once again, more on the Blazers coming up in sports. Then don't forget Blazer Extra at 11:30, right after the newscast.
Well, sadly, we have to turn to some serious news right now.
To win the conference championship, the Blazers did what only 3 other squads accomplished this season. They beat the Jazz in Utah. Early, it looked like Utah had forced Game 7 as the Jazz led by 13 points in the first quarter. But the Blazers took Utah's best shot and were still standing. Porter to Buck Williams. The Blazers cut it to 4 at recess. Then Clyde the Glide Drexler dominated the third quarter. It was even Steven heading to the fourth. And then the Blazers put it away down the stretch. 105-97, the final. Highlights, interviews, and a trip down memory lane when we return. So hurry up and read the rest of this stuff, will you? So I can get back.
We'll do it.
I got a great highlight package.
Okay, I know everyone wants to see it anyway. So.
Yeah.
Of all.
That's what was going on at the station here, too. After the game, that's right, after the game, many of those fans went out to an airport in Washington County to await their dream team's homecoming.
Craig Cheatham, is it getting a little bit crazy out there?
All right, guys. Hey, sorry I can't hear a thing. This feels like I'm at a rock concert right now. And the group is Blazer Mania. And it's 2,000 members strong. Right over right over here, we got the quartet from Canby. Scott, Brian, Dave, and Kerry. Guys, what time did you get out here tonight?
About 20 minutes after the game.
Made it quickly. What do you think about the NBA championship?
Chicago's in.
The Blazers! All right, guys, you saw the game tonight. What's going to be the key to the Blazers taking it all?
Duck. It's Duck, man.
All right, guys. How long are you going to hang out here tonight?
Oh, until the Blazers get here and a little bit after.
Thanks a lot, guys. They say this is the real Rip City tonight, and you got to believe it. We've got about 2,000 folks here, some from Tigard, some from Troutdale. They really come from all over Southwest Washington and the Portland metro area. Police have high security here tonight. Some of the police have riot gear. About 30 cops here from 4 different agencies. They're expecting the best, but prepared for the worst. We'll come back to you if the Blazers arrive anytime soon. Back to you guys in the studio.
Right you are, Craig. We will go back to the airport if and when the Blazers show up, if they come in during the newscast.
That's right. Entrepreneurs
pulled off one of the toughest jobs in the NBA. They beat Utah in Utah and are now the Western Conference champions again. Truly a bodacious game. Utah came out the gate like we the people, stalking the Blue Edwards, slam dunk. Utah would lead by 13, but I know both coaches. I played with them in Chicago. Adelman likes to run. Buck Williams blocked Jeff Malone. Clyde grabbed it. Drexler brings it up court. Drexler to Robinson, slam dunk. Cut to 33-30 Utah at the end of one. Utah went up 10, but Kersey and Duck kept the Blazers in it. Kersey cut it to 50-47 Utah. Duckworth nailed them with his jumper. 57-53 Utah. Utah went up 7, but Terry Porter beat the buzzer. It was cut to 59-55 Utah at recess. But Drexler scored 12 points in the third. 68-66 Portland. Then Jeff Malone lost it. Williams grabbed it to Porter. Porter to Drexler. Clyde to the bodacious slam dunk. 70-66 Blazers. Then Drexler with the jumper. It was tied at 77 after 3. Danny Ainge got it going with threes in the fourth. 80-79 Blazers. Then Cliff Robinson got to Stockton's way. Bryant grabbed it. Out to Cliff Robinson. He's gone. Slam dunk. 85-81 Portland. Then Mark Bryant, my man. 87-81 Blazers. It's getting late. Porter to Drexler. They're opening the door to the woodshed. Then Clyde to Cliff Robinson. They're pulling out the strap. 98-92 Blazers. And then they tan their fannies. Stockton can't get it. Mike Brown lost it. Robinson went to the floor and got it to Clyde Drexler. Clyde up court. There's the time left. It's to Terry Porter. Hey, it's all over, baby. Boo-hoo, Utah. Yep, they're your Western Conference champs after they beat Utah. 105-97. So it's back to the NBA Finals as the Blazers wrap this baby up 4-2 and party in Salt Lake. Ha-ha. The finals commence no earlier than next Wednesday. If Cleveland wins, it starts in Portland. If the Bulls win, it starts in Chi-Town. Now, check out the numbers. Clyde had 12 of those points in the third and wet bounce scoring. Big Duck had 10, and it was hustle in time for the Duck. The Blazers held Utah to 23% shooting in the second half and allowed only 38 points. That's what championship teams are made of. Now, running and shots, and I mean running and shots, with hightailing it around the game tonight. She has a skitty on one of the Blazers' best clutch performances this season.
Another memorable game in the history of this proud franchise, but, ooh, it sure didn't start that way. John Stockton was seeing the basket oh so clearly, helping Utah zip out to that 21-8 lead. Jazz fans roaring for the rout. The Blazers not cooperating. Buck, Jerome, and a tough Portland defense cut the lead to 3 after 1. Brand new ball game.
Yeah, I felt good about that. I think that kind of gave us a wake-up call, and I felt if we could just maintain through the first half. But fortunately, we came back in the first quarter and made it a game with. And you know, you'd much rather have a team make their spurt at the beginning of the game than at the beginning of the second half.
Down the stretch, the Blazers called on execution, poise, and a big defense. Time after time, Portland forced the issue, setting up fast break buckets and frustrating the Jazz.
When we finally tied the score, I think we executed. We got the shots we wanted. We took great care of the ball, and more importantly, the defense was just very good tonight. I just can't say enough about the way the team focused in the second half. We did a great job of not allowing them to get a lot of easy opportunities, and yet in return getting some rebounds for ourselves and getting out in the break.
The Blazers did what few teams have accomplished, beating Utah at the dreaded Delta Center. The emotions were incredible. They spilled into the locker room as well when Magic Johnson paid a special visit to Clyde and Buck.
What he said, he pretty much congratulated us on winning the basketball game and told us that we have a legitimate chance of winning this year. And basically, you know, that was it. And he's such a nice guy. You know, anytime he pull you aside and tell you have a good team, well, that means a great deal.
While the Delta Center is very quiet in the Jazz defeat, the Portland Trailblazer locker room going nuts, as expected. The Blazers heading back for the NBA championships for the second time in 3 years. From Salt Lake City, Ann Schatz, Newsroom 6 Sports.
How sweet it is. You know, folks, it's just like Yogi said, it was deja vu all over again. Portland almost put the Suns away for the Western Conference Championship in the same manner 2 years ago. Now, tonight in the final seconds, Stockton could not score, and Mike Brown lost it. Robinson got it to Clyde. Clyde up court, and in the final seconds, the Blazers, Terry Porter with the easy layup to put it away. Now, 2 years ago, Kersey blocked Hornacek. Clyde got it to Kersey. Two similar plays win the conference championship for Portland. Now, can Chuck Daly do for New Jersey what he did in Detroit? The Nets are hoping so. They named Daly as head coach today. Only 3 weeks ago, Daly left the Pistons with 2 titles on his resume. New Jersey made the playoffs this season, but under Bill Fitch, the Nets were a bickering bunch. Game 2 in the Stanley Cup Finals between Pittsburgh and Chicago. Just say Mario tied at 1 in the second, and Mario will move. Phil fires one, and it's 2-1 Penguins. Then more Super Mario. He flips it right by Eddie Belfour to make it 3-1 Pittsburgh, and that's all she wrote. 3-1 Penguins the final. They lead Chicago 2 games to diddly. From baseball tonight, the Red Sox and Angels, Red Sox, Boston beat California, and the Rangers are in first after beating the White Sox. Meantime, the Royals bop Detroit, and the Cubs blank the Giants this afternoon, and the Beavers lose to Vancouver over at the stadium. Go Portland Trailblazers.
That's right, and you used to have a lot more hair, I noticed, in your playing days.
Well, yeah, you know, you have times with those kind of, when you have this leisurely time of sports and jock life. Good to sit between Jerry and Rick for that team picture, though.
You look tough in those days. Well, earlier we estimated that about 2,000 fans are waiting for the Western Conference champions to return home.
That's right. I bet there are a lot more than that now. And Craig Cheatham is standing by. Craig, how many are there out there?
Well, we've got about 2,500 folks here, diehard Blazer believers. As you can see, quite a few police in front here. Some of them are even wearing Blazers caps. All right. Look, we got heavy police protection here tonight. They're asking people to not bring booze in here. We don't know when the Blazers will be arriving. We have about 2,500 folks that are chanting, "We want Clyde, we want the Bulls." We've got folks here from Tigard, you name it, Troutdale, Vancouver. They're from all over Southwest Washington and the Portland metro area. Maul the Jazz. These guys have been having some kind of party tonight, and they expect the party to continue for quite some time. The biggest thrill for them right now would be for that plane to arrive and for them to see their Blazers. Back to you in the studio.
Well, most people don't know it's a school night, apparently. Thank you very much, Craig Cheatham.
That's right. Just 2 years ago, I was out there, and it was just a fantastic opportunity to see the people.
14, 15 hours. They won. They're Western Conference champions, and the NBA Finals are next. You know, the Blazers don't publicize the team's arrival times anymore, but a couple thousand people put 2 and 2 together and greeted Blazer 1 when it arrived in Hillsborough early this morning. The team seemed quite happy to see everybody, and everybody was quite happy to hear from their heroes.
Thanks for coming out. We really appreciate the support. I think we're very happy about going to the NBA Finals, but we want to win the whole thing. The whole thing.
It was a great win. You know, to beat them down there was a very great test for us, and it's like nice to have a road win again, and you know, it meant so much. And you know, it's going to help us, I think, down the road.
As for the game that enabled Blazer fans to celebrate, it didn't start out well. Utah's John Stockton had perfect vision early. The Jazz led by as much as 13 in the first half. But the Blazers came back. Call it a championship effort in the second half. Balanced scoring, good free throw shooting, and tremendous defense.
And again, the Blazer defense under the basket, taking it away from Utah, and it's Porter, maybe.
Blazers win Game 6, 105-97, the series 4-2, and all that was left was the Uncle Cliffy, sure to be the rage on Portland dance floors. Salt Lake City could probably care less. Now, tickets for the finals, the Blazers will probably have 200 or so available for home games in the finals, but they won't go on sale until the team knows the dates. They won't know the dates until they know who the opponent is. If it's Chicago, Portland games will be at home for sure June 7th and June 10th. If it's Cleveland, the first 2 games in Portland would be June 3rd and 5th.